The Ukrainian Signum Battalion continued targeting multiple Russian military elements in the same area. Military vehicles, Russian soldiers hiding inside abandoned houses. All of them quickly became exposed targets for the incoming drones. Russian forces are suffering heavy losses against fiber optic drones and are still severely lacking in defense capabilities. Here, a Russian soldier spotted in the forest became the target of an FPV drone. November 21st, 2025. A Russian soldier stood motionless under a tree, hoping the drone would not notice him. However, this tactic proved fatal, as the UAV quickly detected his position and struck him. Other Russian soldiers repeated the same mistake, standing still in the open. During training, they are taught to use this tactic whenever they see or hear a drone, but in practice, it only turns them into easy targets, leaving them completely exposed to Ukrainian FPV strikes. A Russian soldier on a motorcycle was moving along a logistics route in the Lyman area when he was attacked by a Ukrainian fiber optic drone. The soldier tried to escape at full speed to shake off the pursuing drone, but even on a motorcycle, he wasn't fast enough to outrun it. November 19th, 2025. The Ukrainian 16th Army Corps and the 57th Separate Motorized Infantry Brigade targeted Russian soldiers with FPV drones in the Kurakhove and Donetsk regions. Russian troops were picked off one by one, and some attempted to hide in unusual locations. However, experienced Ukrainian drone operators anticipated every tactic, leaving the Russian soldiers with nowhere left to take cover. First, Russian soldiers moving on ATVs were targeted by Ukrainian drones. Later, troops traveling in military vehicles toward the front lines also came under drone strikes. Every road and route in the area was subjected to relentless FPV drone attacks. Russian forces could neither advance safely to their positions nor deliver logistical support to the region. Russian soldier tried to shoot down incoming Ukrainian FPV drone but failed. The soldier did not lose his life, but was seriously injured. The Russian soldier had nowhere left to run and became a clear target for the drone. Realizing there was no escape, he was eventually struck by the Ukrainian FPV drone. November 21st, 2025. In the Pokrovsk-Donetsk region, 3 Russian soldiers were advancing in the open when they were spotted by a Ukrainian FPV drone. As the drone scouted the area, the 3 soldiers suddenly appeared directly in its path. Panic set in, and the Russian soldiers began to scatter in every direction. But one soldier was unable to escape the drone. The Sky Fury UAS battalion of Ukraine's 54th Mechanized Brigade targeted Russian soldiers in the southern outskirts of Siversk. Russian troops attempting to hide in various positions were systematically detected one by the Ukrainian drones. Russian Turtle tanks, heavily armored vehicles with extra protective plating, were neutralized by Ukrainian FPV drones. The added armor, meant to defend against drones, only slowed the tanks down, leaving them at a significant disadvantage. In the Sumy region, Russian artillery units were also taken out by precise drone strikes. Russian forces appear to be making little effort to conceal their own military equipment, and this lack of camouflage is costing them even more. A Ukrainian FPV drone located the launch site of Russian FPV drones. As it approached, operators noticed an inscription on the box, 15-kilometer coil. This confirmed that the position was a dugout used by Russian FPV pilots. The Signum Battalion of Ukraine's 53rd Mechanized Brigade carried out a series of targeted strikes on Russian positions in the Donbass region. Using high-explosive drones, they engaged each position one by one. Many of the dugouts in this area were known to house Russian FPV drone operators. A Russian soldier walking alone on the front line in the Kupiansk sector was targeted by a Ukrainian FPV drone. The soldier was first detected by the 414th Unmanned Strike Aviation Brigade. Having marched for a long time, he was unaware that a reconnaissance drone had been tracking him. The Russian soldier, upon spotting the incoming FPV drone, desperately tried to fight it off. He circled around, fired multiple shots, and attempted to break its line of attack. But the FPV drone was far too fast, and despite all his efforts, he failed to shoot it down. Russian forces formed an assault convoy in the Donetsk region and advanced with a mechanized unit. Tanks and armored personnel carriers moved forward, only to encounter an unexpected Ukrainian border defense supported by the 12th Special Forces Brigade, Azov, and the 3rd Assault Brigade. Ukrainian FPV and kamikaze drones immediately launched heavy strikes on the Russian mechanized assault group. Over 30 drones joined the attack, hitting Russian armored vehicles one by one. The Russian assault convoy was completely disrupted and began scattering in multiple directions. But the Ukrainian forces did not stop there. Drone strikes continued relentlessly, coordinated by Azov and the 3rd Assault Brigade, until every single Russian armored vehicle was fully neutralized. As the convoy continued to scatter, one of the Russian forces' most trusted tanks, a T-80, became the primary target of the assault. Despite its outer armor being heavily reinforced, the tank suffered massive damage under repeated high-explosive drone strikes. Eventually, the tank began to catch fire and explode, demonstrating the devastating effectiveness of the drone attacks. The T-80 Russian tank was struck by anti-tank explosives delivered by drones, causing catastrophic damage and rendering the vehicle completely inoperable. The Russian mechanized unit that had set out for the assault was entirely eliminated. Smoke from the battle spread across the area, marking the aftermath of the devastating attack. The primary unit of the Ukrainian GUR carried out a series of high-precision strikes in Crimea, targeting some of Russia's most important air defense assets. One by one, critical systems were identified by reconnaissance drones and immediately marked for destruction. A Russian Kar-27 ship-based multipurpose helicopter was the first to be hit. Moments later, Ukrainian operators targeted the Lyra A-10 airfield radar complex, striking it with pinpoint accuracy. The assault continued as Ukrainian drones located and destroyed a Nebo-U long-range radar, followed by the dome-protected Nebo-SV radar system. In the Avdiivka region, a Russian UAZ carrying ammunition to the front lines was spotted. As soon as the vehicle arrived, Ukrainian artillery units opened fire. The 110th Separate Mechanized Brigade fired 4 rounds, each coming closer to the target, but missing direct hits. On the 4th shot, the artillery finally struck the vehicle, destroying it completely, along with its ammunition load. This artillery strike demonstrated the experience and determination of Ukrainian artillery units in hitting their targets. Russian soldiers had planted anti-tank mines across the terrain, but Ukrainian drones quickly detected them and moved in to neutralize the threat. Several bombs were dropped on the mines by the drones, yet the explosives were not powerful enough to detonate them. Throughout the night, the drones continued to monitor the mines, keeping the area under constant surveillance. A new drone then dropped a more powerful bomb, successfully triggering the mines. The resulting explosion completely neutralized the threat, leaving the area safe from the anti-tank devices. Operators of the Ukrainian 155th Mechanized Brigade's UAVs continued to destroy Russian forces and equipment in Pokrovsk. As of November 21st, 2025, the conflict in eastern Ukraine remains intense, with Ukrainian forces continuing to dominate key areas using precision drone strikes, artillery, and mechanized units. Russian troops face relentless FPV and kamikaze drone attacks on their front lines, leaving infantry and armored vehicles exposed and unable to advance safely. In Donetsk, Luhansk, and surrounding regions, Ukrainian drones have systematically targeted Russian positions, from dugouts and trenches to logistics convoys and supply routes.